Hi, friends. It's me, and I am back to talk about, I guess, job search, midlife, life, poppidoo. Today, the background is the Boston Public Garden? No, the park, the one with the swan boats, the pond. And you can see behind me, I think at Goodwill Hunting, they sat on this bench. How do you get my finger to go there? Or thereabouts. And yesterday or the day before, one of these willow trees fell down. I don't know which one. I think it was kind of like not one of the pretty ones. And so I just want to celebrate the willow trees in the Boston Public Garden. The Boston Public Garden, everyone. That's what it is. So I did not get the job that I was just recently talking about and telling you how I had prepped the interview. And I was watching something and they were saying, you have to show the struggle too. I don't want to show the struggle. I hate it. I just want to be perfect and awesome at all times. I want power. I want glory. I want victory. And that's all. And I just want green lights, smooth sailing, and no problems. But that is all my life. Sure. It's so annoying. I just want a break. But I also was listening to a sermon, and it was about, just to be clear, also, I have a higher power of my own understanding. I'm not religious, but I do kind of dabble. I don't mind the Bible as long as it's not being hijacked by yahoos. And it was a famous story, and it was about Jesus going into the middle of the lake and clearing the storm. And there's another part where Jesus is in the boat and pulls up tons of fish right when people think there's no fish. And they're like, "You're crazy, man. Why are you making us go in the boat? There's absolutely no fish." And it like really hit my feelings because metaphorically, I'm feeling like I'm out there busting my ass in this freaking boat. And at this point, my nets are a mess. I've been throwing them out there. I'm exhausted. I'm trying this bait. I'm going to this part of the lake. I'm looking at the wind. I'm looking at the forecast. I'm trying to meet this person at the dock over there. I'm trying to get with this boat over there. My boat has a leak. Can I pay the frickin' rental bill at the marina? The whole frickin' thing, right? And I'm like, oh, we're getting no fish. But then I was reminded that abundance will come out of nowhere miraculously, and don't give up before the miracle shows up. They often say that in recovery. Just don't give up. So, yes, I experienced a setback. I binge watched Apple TV. I watched Pluribus, Widow's Bay, and now I'm on Margot's Got Money Problems. But also, I have taken a break from TV because the weather has improved. There was this Canadian wildfire smoke where it was like you couldn't breathe. So, anyway, how am I bouncing back? Well, yeah, I've been binge watched a bunch of TV. And I also was on Instagram Reels liking everything that was about the frustrations of life. One of them, it's like this lady, and the headline is something like "When life isn't going your way," and she's like picking up her glass, and she's like, "Cheers, fuck everybody!" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck everybody." And my friend wrote me, "Are you okay?" He DM'd me, "Am I okay?" I said, "No, but I'm good. I'm not okay. I'm not okay." It is exhausting being on the metaphoric boat with the fishnets and throwing them in and throwing them in and throwing them in, especially when you're older, you get tired and you just want things to go your way. So, how am I coping? Well, yes, going into my spirituality, I meditated and prayed, and I had some good cries with my higher power. And my higher power was letting me know it's going to be okay. And sometimes I get this feeling that my uncle Chuck is on the other side, and I can feel like Uncle Chuck coming to me and he's saying, "You're going to be okay, kid. You're doing all the right things. Just keep hanging in there." I'm like, "Thanks, Uncle Chuck." Or I feel my friend Margaret on the other side, and she says, "It's okay, Rachie. You're going to be okay." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to be okay." But it sucks, and I'm scared. And so sometimes going into those deeper places of fear, I think that when I used to imbibe a lot, I was always avoiding that. And so in recovery, I go into it and it's not easy, but it helps me to kind of face my feelings. And then I can kind of reckon with a certain amount of grief that I'm feeling and fear, like that I'm never going to have fish again. All the fish is gone. This and that are wrong with me, that I don't deserve fish. I'm too old to have fish. I should have been more careful about the fish I got in my youth. I should have made better choices. Um, I should have invested my fish. I did invest my fish, but then I got sick and I had to use my reserves of fish. So then I don't got gods. But then I'm like, well, you know what? Higher power always provides, and you don't really need that much. I don't need all this or that. If I get all this or that, I'm grateful. But I think that I need to be a good person. You don't bring all this crap with you when you move on into the next realm, but you do bring your soul, and why not try and be a good person and develop integrity and character, sense of humor. So that's how I'm coping, everyone. And so today I also found this. I like my cards. And I don't know when I wrote this or why. And it says the object of life is development. Every person naturally wants to become all they are capable of becoming. Have no fear of your best, stronger self and how it goes to take you where it takes you. So it's taking me to where I am right now, which is in front of y'all. So I'll show you this one thing. Maybe it's like a midlife crisis. Okay, I can't find it, but it's this flyer, and I posted it on Instagram. You should follow me on Instagram. Oh, look how the camera just went in my face. Oh, giant Rachel, what the hell? Did I have the camera on automatic frame my video? We are changing that. That is done. So anyway, so you should follow me on Instagram. I think it's under Ray Marie Luna. And yeah, I think it's Ray Marie Luna. That's my writer one. And then Athene Loon Boutique is my resale shop where I do vintage. And I'm super into all that kind of stuff. So you can follow me. Oh, and I'm on Poshmark. Oh heck, did I do Athene Loon Boutique on that one? I think I did. And I'm gonna start to blend in my writing stuff in that too. So this is part of my midlife crisis, is my writing. So I recently posted on Instagram an old flyer of a play that I did when I went to the University of Leeds in England, and I was studying this really remarkable course in modern theater. And so we had a group, we had a writers group that called a writer society. It was called Pelicans. And we used to write our own plays, and then each of us would take turns performing roles within that. So I had like one of my friends was the director, I acted in it, and this particular one was called Always Saying. I did a couple of plays, and Always Saying was I was influenced by Carol Churchill, who did a lot of feminist theater in the 70s in London and at the London Royal Theater. She's amazing. And so I found the original script of what I had written. This was olden times typing, and the character is Azalea, and I have the man kind of influenced by Carol Churchill. The man and the boyfriends, like the boyfriends were the same actor but would play different boyfriends to show it's all the same thing. And then I had the man character who is kind of the imago, like the imprint of your desire coming from your parents. It's like a psychological thing. If you ever read the book Keeping the Love You Find by Harville Hendricks, they get into this, and you list out all of your different partners over time and their pluses and their negatives, and then you start to notice trends, and then you kind of circle it, and then you see how that kind of maps back to your parents or like things that are familiar and why you're attracted to who you're attracted to. So I wrote this when I was maybe like 21 or 22, and I was trying to figure this out at that time because I was continuously kind of having patterns in the people I dated. So this play was really awesome. And I sat in the middle. My character's name was Azalea, and I kind of just did sort of this free flowing thought, except it's scripted. And I had the man over here, and he was kind of countering the things I was saying. And then I had the first boyfriend who was Stuart, and I had the second boyfriend who was Johnny. And Stuart was more uptight and rigid, and Johnny was more of like a free flowing kind of a guy. And then that actor went and wrote his own play about Johnny Sunshine, he ended up calling him, about my character, because he liked that character so much better than Stuart, which actually is true because in real life, Johnny was more likable than Stuart. So anyway, so that's how I'm coping is I'm kind of falling back into the things that I love to do. I on Monday will get on the horn and I'll call up my recruiters and I'll be like, I need a job, need a job, I need some cash money. So anyway, I'm a goofball coping with goofball methods, but not entirely. I'm also leaning back into creativity, spirituality, being of service. I'm helping plan a recovery convention. And I went ham yesterday on a slide deck for about 4 hours and did a lot of meticulous like financial modeling, and I experimented with AI. How could I create graphics using the data and sort of get various pictures and scenarios that saved me a lot of time and so forth. So thank you, everyone. If you're in the job search, just keep hanging in there. The fish are coming. There's nothing wrong with you. It just kind of happens one day, and the fish might not be the fish you think they're going to be. It could be a totally different fish. But I think that life goes in cycles, and at some point the fish are going to come. It's kind of usually probably when you're just chilling out in the boat and you're having faith, and like you could say that Jesus is with you, or trust that like imaginary Jesus is with you, or like they call it the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. You could have the Holy Ghost with you. I don't know. I'm not like a, what do you call it, theologist. I have no freaking clue. But for me, that's kind of what works. Just to feel like, maybe your version of Uncle Chuck is on the other side, or your version of your friend who passed away, who you still think about all the time and care and miss, maybe they're on the other side. And just to feel like you're not alone. But I know I am very woo woo about these things. But I wanted to express them because a lot of people in recovery hate the word God, and some people call it good orderly direction. And I think that whatever version fits for you makes sense. And my version might not fit with everyone, but my version just helps me, I think, cope. I'm just trying to speak to that. That's it. Okay, everyone. Okay, the end.